AI is going to be everywhere and everything. And we're going to need people who are domain experts in finance, in customer service, in health and beauty tech, who that's their passion. That's what they know. That's that core of who they are and what they know and what they enjoy. AI is just going to be a set of tools and methodologies that helps them take that to the next level. So when I say people need domain expertise, I meet a lot of people who are just chasing AI and they're not chasing anything interesting. Because you can't just chase AI. I mean,
Right.
it is very sexy to be a founder. And you want to do important work and you want your parents to be proud of you. But I encourage people, take a couple of years and invest in yourself and work for another company to see the things that school, no one disagrees. School does not teach you, about life. And to work for a company and learn processes and learn where the tricks and the gotchas are. Purpose is part of almost every conversation because our fulfillment has everything to do with why am I here? And how do I want to show up? What do I want to accomplish for myself and for the world?
Throw your hands up if you with it. Drop it.
Welcome to the Explore the Opportunities with AI podcast. And today I'm excited to have our guest, Tonya Long. So Tonya is an author and seasoned executive coach, an AI strategist with extensive experience in guiding individuals and organizations through the complexities of modern business landscape. And with her background spanning from diverse industries, Tonya helps leaders define their purpose and achieve remarkable results. And I'm excited to bring her in today where we'll dive into the entrepreneurial trap and also building the community, especially in the AI space today. And she also passionate about advocate for domain expertise. I had a long conversation with her, and after I shared my background, she was like, "Whoa, Serena, you're all over the place." And so I'm so excited to bring her to share with us the strategic career planning and empowers us to find clarity in any career directions that we want to focus on for future. I'm so excited to bring you on today, Tonya. Welcome to the show.
It's fantastic to be here. Thank you for having me so that I could spend time with you and your audience.
Awesome. So before we begin, is there any fun fact about you that you would like to share with us today?
Oh my goodness. Which one do I choose? There's a lot of fun facts. I just returned from a weekend hiking down at Pinnacles National Park. Pinnacles is the smallest national park. It was turned from a national monument into a national park about 10 years ago. And I was down there on my Airstream. I solo tow a 6,000 pound Airstream. And I was down there with a set of about 15 of my friends. And it was beautiful, beautiful weather. So most people don't know that about me. I live in a high rise in downtown San Jose. So people don't expect that I have an RV and that I go on the road with my friends, but I do. And it's a lot of fun.
Oh my God, that is a lot of fun. And I love that you live in a high rise, busy city. And so your Airstream is your kind of getaway, can bring you everywhere. So that sounds like best of both worlds.
Yes, she's my alter ego. In the Airstream world, people name their RVs. Her name is Bella.
Oh, Bella.
Her name is Bella. And people will ask me, how is Bella, when they see me, because they know that she and I are buddies and we've been all over the West Coast since the pandemic. So she's my alter ego. She's my pageant princess. I didn't have children.
Pageant princess.
So instead of children, I decked out an Airstream as my little pageant princess. So it's a lot of fun. It is.
I love it. My celebrity crush is the Bella twins. That's
Ah.
name her Bella.
Her full name is Bella Tear, and that
Bella
means
Tear.
beautiful lands, because that's what
Ooh.
I was going to be able to see with her, was the beautiful lands. I used to fly a lot with my corporate
Right.
roles, but when COVID came and I couldn't fly, I was very pent up and trapped. And so I bought Bella, and I have seen parts of California that I never would have seen that are so beautiful.
Right.
So it has been
Right.
truly a blessing.
That's amazing. Of course, we do also want you to share a little bit about your career journey. How do you transition from traditional business roles to become an AI expert and executive coach?
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. I'm a certified executive coach. I don't actually do that for a living. It's not, it's not on my LinkedIn profile as something I deliver, but a coach is who I am. I've been a leader for a long time. Looking back at my career for 25 years, I worked in commercial corporate technology spaces in large public enterprise level companies. I put 400 products into market. I opened a couple of countries. I did 20 M&As. So I've had some really amazing experiences, carved 1.5 billion in expenses from the companies that I was responsible for restructuring. So have had a really great run. When generative AI really broke on the commercial scene 2.5 years ago, it was right around Thanksgiving time. That's when I had managed AI projects before then in the computer vision space and in the machine learning space. I didn't do the coding. I didn't lead those teams, but I led the execution side and the go-to-market side. And when generative AI came out with ChatGPT's first real consumer release, I said, wow, this is going to change the world. And so I wrote a book about it. The book was a bestseller. It hit the #1 new release in 7 categories on Amazon. And since then, I've spent the majority of my time working with boards and founders on AI strategy. And those are very different conversations. Boards, clearly much more high level, much more visionary. And they're just not sure where to take the journey with their organization. So I help them get comfortable with AI. And then founders, it's all about execution. They have an idea that AI will enable, but they haven't had the 25 years of experience that I've had putting products into market. So I help them develop their plans so that they can be successful, whether it's raising funds or increasing profitability. I work with them on a lot of different things, but it has been a good journey on both sides, boards and founders, helping them on the AI path.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Looking over your career span, is there any kind of problem that you encountered along the way in your career path?
I'm known for speaking truth to power. So what that means is I get to do the hard projects no one else wants to do. So I've led a lot of major change management initiatives for large corporations. When people are going to be unhappy because we've changed how things work, because we've fundamentally shifted how teams and organizations operate, I have led those programs for more than 20 years now at a senior level. AI was a natural transition for me. I didn't decide to do it. It found me, because AI is, to be successful, AI is everything I've spent my entire adult life doing. It's super cross-functional. It's cross-generational, cross-cultural. AI is about the diversity of the mix of skills and inputs that are used by a team to create a vision and then execute on it. So AI is a big shift. It's a big change.
It is.
Challenges in AI are people challenges, not technology challenges. So these days, I'm branding myself as an AI humanitarian. I've led large technical teams for most of my career, but there are other people that are better at that than I am, that are doing a great job. And those people need to keep leading engineering organizations into the development piece. But I think the world is still afraid of AI. So my AI humanitarian label that I've started using is because I do believe that if people don't buy in and scale, first they will be left behind. And then there will be some failure because as a society, we won't be reaping the benefits that are possible through what AI brings us. So I spend a lot of my time helping people see where the bridges are so they can cross over, so that they can become part of what's happening with AI at whatever level they do. We're talking about hairdressers in Tucson. We're
Right.
at any level, or multi successful CEOs. It comes at all levels where people need a contact that they can work with that can help them understand what things look like in their industry and in their vertical. And I was talking with someone yesterday and I told him, I said, I'm just giving them permission to do what they already know is the right path. I just help them get comfortable with where they want to go and what might work for them with AI. And it's a very collaborative process to help them understand they are ready for the journey.
I love that you mentioned that you're a person who speak like hard truths, not as hard. And I love that you're kind of leading the humanitarian or
Humanitarian.
humanitarian side of the AI technology, just because yeah, technologies is there, but to get people on board, it is harder. There's still a lot of people that are still afraid of AI, or they just think AI is like a mismatch algorithm. They don't think that it's powerful, and so I even had to confront with a group of college professors because I saw them posted on Facebook. They were like, "Oh, I can't believe my student is using AI," and a lot of other college professors commenting on it. And I was like, oh my God, I know, yes, there should be boundaries, but then we, especially as a college professor, should educate on AI usage because right off, college students that getting out of college need to get a job and they need to adopt AI right away. If you kind of speak very badly of AI, how are they going to have the adoptions, right?
So about a year ago, it was spring of last year, I was invited to deliver a workshop for the graduate school faculty of one of the major universities in San Francisco. And the faculty senate chair told me this is about helping them transition their mindset because they have a mindset of it's cheating. But what we know in looking at the future of our master's degree candidates is they're going to have to use AI to get ahead, to stay ahead, to lead into the future. So we can't have this discrepancy between faculty thinks it's cheating, but this is the tools that they will use. And what we want you to do, Tonya, is to bring in new thinking about how to measure students' performance as it relates to AI. Now, I am not a learning and development, thought leader on the measurement of graduate students. But it was a really heartfelt day of discussion around change because you can't use your curriculum that you've largely been using for the last 15 or 20 years. Now we're going to have to measure people more collaboratively. It's not going to be the same outputs that would be measured. We have to shift that based on how the world will work for those graduate students in the work world. And we did some really meaningful exercises out of that discussion. At the end of the day, we wanted to take our takeaways back to the faculty senate. And one of the things they wanted to do was to develop pilots for digital twins for the faculty so that students could come and collaborate with faculty on AI. So we really, I think, made a lot of progress in a short time with them understanding the tools because I just don't believe that you can say using AI or large language models is cheating. We have to measure students differently for things that have been intangible up to this point. Things like communications, teamwork, critical thinking skills. that a lot of college courses are not positioned to measure, and we have to start looking at it differently. So it was really an interesting exercise to be part of as they try to be cutting edge across, higher education is under attack. People aren't seeing the value of getting college degrees anymore. So I think they were wise to realize they have to stay on trend and current as well. And it was a great experience.
Oh, I'm so glad that at least they do kind of like spending the effort to overcome this challenge. And I'm so glad to hear your experience as well, because my experience last year, and I just felt so bad. I feel like a troll, but I'm like, no, I'm in this phase. I have to like advocate. So, and I use a lot of AI. I'm like, here's the fact, right? Is that 70% of skills worker in the space is using AI. And so if you're speaking really badly of it, the students aren't gonna explore and learn now. And once they're out in the workforce, they're not equipped to get hired, or they're not as competitive as the one who is very familiarized how to leverage AI, as a tool, like you said.
It's a journey for all of us
is.
at every level and every vertical. And I think people have to awake to it. And everyone is on their own timeline for how they evolve.
Yeah, speaking about students, so I do attend a lot of AI events in San Francisco. And I speak to a lot of like MIT students, Harvard, they're all in AI development and engineering. And right fresh out the college, they want to jump into this AI entrepreneurship. So I want to hear your expertise on what do you feel about someone just fresh out of college. They are very enthusiastic. And of course, like AI has created such a great opportunities. And of course, you hear a lot of AI wins, like a lot of VCs money are go all into AI as of right now. So I want to hear about your opinions on this.
This won't be popular, and I'm okay with that. What's the stat that 95% of startups fail?
Right.
But that's not a fair measurement. And here's why. Here's my comparison. I bet a huge percentage of first jobs fail because you go into that first job and you might not get fired, but you won't like it. It won't be a fit. You will quickly outgrow what happened in that job. There is learning that happens in first career moves. If I bring that back to 95% of startups fail, that's not a fair number in my mind, because so many startups are with very young, frankly, very inexperienced entrepreneurs. I think there is undue pressure, and we live in a bubble here on the peninsula in the Bay Area. It is very sexy to be a founder, and you want to do important work, and you want your parents to be proud of you. But I encourage people, take a couple of years and invest in yourself and work for another company to see the things that school, no one disagrees. School does not teach you, about life. And to work for a company and learn processes and learn where the tricks and the gotchas are. And I encourage people who are coming out of undergrad or grad school and haven't worked yet, tell your new boss you want to be an entrepreneur. Tell your new boss your goal is in 2, 3, 4 years to exit and be ready to start your own company, and ask your boss to give you difficult assignments so that you can learn with that breadth of experience. I think people suffer needlessly because they are trying to figure out the processes and the cycles of running a business. And they're figuring it all out by trial and error. And the majority of it is not trial and error. It's a process, but you can't put that process together for your business until you've witnessed it, until you've been part of it. So I think people who come out of school and go straight into entrepreneurship aren't doing themselves any favors, because it is so much harder than if they had. And you can learn bad habits, right? When you've not had good modeling for you, when you've not been somewhere. And good modeling is also sometimes bad behavior. You can learn from experiencing painful things in life, in work, in relationships. So that's learning as well. And to do that learning somewhere else and get that experience and then bring that wisdom to bear on the company that you build. I think if more people did that, that 95% failure rate would go down significantly.
Yeah, people say like, you don't know what you don't know, right?
And it's truth. It's truth at 25 and it's truth at 55. It is. You never know everything.
Yeah, definitely. That's so funny when you said 25, because I did start my own business at 25. So I graduated college and then I went to work for a retail like Abercrombie and Fitch, and I was a manager there. And later I was like, oh, if I can run their business, I can totally have my own. So I opened a full beauty salon, because when I went to college, I also has my cosmetology as well as my business management degree. And so I just opened a business. And like now I'm thinking about like 25, I thought I know everything. I thought I got it. And when it coming to the business, like from day one, I didn't lose money. But for me, I'm like, why I'm not there? Like why I'm not making a tons of money yet? Like why this entrepreneurship is so slow, right? And 3 years in, I never lose $1, but I thought that I'm failing. Like I was like, this is so bad. Like, oh, maybe this is not, all I thought is to keep. And I closed down my business. But like I said, you don't know what you don't know. And there's a lot of other things that I've learned along the way, like, helping other people open their own businesses and just learning. And then I'm like, I was in success at like 3 others business that I opened because I didn't know and I didn't understand about marketing. So like now I'm like full into marketing because I know that like if you're good at marketing, you can kind of advertise and make buzz, and people know about your product to create sales and stuff. So like definitely you don't know what you don't know, and I love your advice is just to go and learn from someone who had the experience. And being an entrepreneur is hard. I feel like only the one that go through knows what it's like the sleepless night, the 80-hour work week, the funding, the bootstrapping and all of that goes into place. And so I do believe that if you learn from someone else and if you ask for more when you're asking for a mentor, right? So like just giving you more tasks, and it does help prepared a lot if one day that you want to become an entrepreneur and open your own business. Yeah. But I want to share about my experience as well. So, I mean, we had a discovery call and I was just sharing you about my career path. I was in retail. I opened my salon. I become a social media manager, come back and help another people build their own salon, and then running my agency at the same time. And then now I'm like doing AI and entrepreneurs and AI podcasts. And then you're like, wow, Serena. You're all over the place.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just feel like what you said was like building your domain, right? Becoming domain expertise. And then you're also said that like, what do you really want to do? Not because of what everybody's need. And so when I'm thinking about my career path, I do jumped in when the opportunity is there. I said yes, but it's also more like what other like my bosses need at the time, and it just kind of pulled me to all kind of directions. And yeah, I remember you said that, and it just like struck out me. I'm like, oh yes, I've been doing that. And so this was like a period of time where I'm just kind of like really sit down, want to build like what is my domain expertise, and just kind of like want to follow that path, what are the advices that you have for someone like me?
Yeah. Let me go back and qualify the domain expertise.
Mm-hmm.
I meet a lot of people every week, and I
Mm-hmm.
meet a lot of people who are chasing AI because they see the
Right.
opportunity of AI. And I think that that is unwise
Mm.
because AI is going to be everywhere and everything. And we're going to need people who are domain experts in finance, in customer service, in health and beauty tech, who that's their passion. That's what they know. That's that core of who they are and what they know and what they enjoy. AI is just going to be a set of tools and methodologies that helps them take that to the next level. So when I say people need domain expertise, I meet a lot of people who are just chasing AI and they're not chasing anything interesting because you can't just
Gotcha.
chase AI. I mean,
Right.
with that, you'll develop something that doesn't really solve a problem. So it's really important that people understand, where are their gifts, where are their passions, and then how would AI enable that, and how do they build a business around AI? Does that make sense to you for the domain expert?
Right. So, what would be your recommendation to just follow your passion? But do you kind of like zigzag your way through your journey if the opportunities present itself, or do you just like really focus on, um, what you're good at, what's your passion, and maybe trying to cancel out all of the noise and just focus on that career path only?
Well, your passion can also be what you do and not where you do it. I'll use myself as an example. I am agnostic about verticals. It could be autonomous vehicles, it could be microgrids, it could be telecommunications. I've played in a lot of industry verticals in tech, but what I do for execution, what I do for catalyzing transformation across those verticals, that's what I do. So my domain expertise is in catalyzing change.
Mhm.
My domain expertise isn't in QA or CRMs. My domain expertise, because I can play all of it, because my gift, my skill is to orchestrate strategic clarity for teams. So I really don't care if it's marketing technology or fintech. It can be MarTech or fintech. It can be CRMs or it can be large language models. The skills that I apply to catalyze transformation within teams works across both. And it works outside the tech industry as well. That's just the vertical, the broader, more universal vertical that I've been in. So I think it's important to understand what you like to do. It can be broader than just what. It can be how you get to show up. I will always show up where there's lots of people. So I'm in tech. Tech is more increasingly reducing the need for people, okay, because it's making things more efficient. But I will always show up to play where there are people, human in the loop, with technology, because these technologies are serving humans. So there's always going to be humans in the loop helping to make decisions about how the technology advances society. And so that's where I will choose to continue to play. So it's about finding, like, what do you enjoy? What makes you happy? Some people, I talked to a brilliant man yesterday, and he hates people. He doesn't hate people, but he doesn't
Right.
enjoy the process of solving problems with people. He loves to build. He has agentic AI, a company that has been very successful, but he loves to build. He wants specs. He doesn't want to go through all the messy dialogue about a company's why and what they're trying to accomplish. So he knows his domain expertise. It's in building. Hand me specs that are robust, and I will build a very well-defined product for you. So he knows his domain. Does that make sense? So your domain isn't salon work. Your domain isn't social media. Your domain is I think something broader than both of those things that has to do with serving the public and with communicating.
Yeah, I do believe so because I do enjoy making meaningful connections, kind of like building a community, helping each other, and just kind of like giving, like that sense of community. So I do look into that more because I love to go into AI events. I'll meet people and I invite them to my podcast. I'm just building this network of connections. And this is something that I love doing. Like I told you, this is a passion of mine, but I've spent so many efforts or time into this space and I love it. So yeah, you're pointing out something that's really good there. But I also want to share that, especially in this AI space, there are a lot of AI community as well. I've never seen so many events. Even I lived in San Francisco in my college years. I was like, have I in my college year was exposed to the community, the events, the technology advancement like these, I would be so much further ahead, as now that I'm a mom and I have 2 kids and I can't just go to event all the time.
It's out of control. I'll go on record. The events are out of control in the Bay Area. They really are.
It is amazing though, like, especially for young grads or like, fresh out of college. I can imagine the potential, the connections, the advancement that they can build throughout the community, the events. I know that you are too, because I've seen you're everywhere. I always seen you on LinkedIn with all the events that make me feel so FOMO, like we're missing out. Like, oh, I wish I was there. Can you tell me a little bit about how has the AI community has fostered collaboration, knowledge sharing, and what are the opportunities that are available there to actively engage in this AI community?
I mentioned earlier that AI was different because it's very cross-functional, cross-generational, cross-cultural, cross-industry. And what I see in that, and it warms my heart, is that I do go to a lot of events, but I see people getting out of their comfort zones every single time. I see white-haired older gentlemen talking to very young, straight out of college, bright-eyed, eager technologists, okay? Because they both have something to work on together. I've seen every culture working together. I've seen people from this is important to me, different economic backgrounds. Not everyone is a Stanford MBA. My 2 degrees are from a state land grant institution, the University of Tennessee. So I don't have prestigious degrees. And I think 5 years ago, you needed the right connections, the right alumni status. People tended to stay in their circles more. And I think AI has it has interwoven our circles. We see the mutual beneficial value of being interconnected because we also are in a position where we can launch companies with much fewer people than we used to.
Right.
Companies of the future will be much, much smaller. But there will still be work that is collaborative work. Like we're expecting the first unicorn billionaire, the first unicorn solopreneur this year. So that means a company with $1 billion valuation. That's a solopreneur.
Wow.
Yeah, that'll happen this year. So will that person do every single thing by themselves to create $1 billion company? No, they will outsource a lot of it. They will get fractional help for legal. They will get an
Mm,
outside service for marketing AI agents. They will cross deploy all the functions that are needed to go to market with their product. I'll just use the word outsource it from all these different realms, but they will be a one person company. And so
mm,
what that means is networking is more important than ever. Who you meet, who
right.
you know, who you can
Mhm,
connect to.
mhm,
There's a tremendous value in connecting the right people to the
mhm,
right people at the right time and help. And it's not a numbers game, it's a quality game. It's understanding what people are doing with their business and then helping to connect those dots so people can help each other live their biggest, best life. It's been
mhm,
hard for me because I am a long time corporate executive. And so I don't
mhm.
think about the gig economy for me.
Right. Yeah.
But I've got to get used to that because I think my future is very much the gig economy. I think my future is the, if you will, the more corporate style of gig economy. I don't expect that I'll be driving an Uber, but I expect I will be working for multiple clients and verticals because the skills I bring
Mhm,
needed by every company for 60 hours a week anymore. They are needed, I think the fun for me is I can have impact on 10
mhm.
clients at a time,
Right.
right?
Uh-huh.
And always be challenged by new problems and bring the muscle that I've developed with meeting
Mhm,
so many clients to clients who haven't had a chance to build that muscle because they've been working on their very specific product set. So
mm,
I think getting used to the kind of gig economy, what day is it? So, which office do I go to today? What product am
right.
I meeting about with this potential distribution partner on behalf of the company? Those things. I think for my generation, because AI is so cross functional and the way I think work is reshaping itself, I think it's going to be interesting for all of us to get used to multiple channels of how we
Mhm,
get income.
yeah, that is so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like AI, our mind had to diversify as well.
Mm-hmm. It has. It's opened us up to how we think,
Mhm.
how we
Yeah,
deliberate, where we
yeah.
get therapy. I mean,
Uh-huh.
my best friend is a therapist, and a
Yeah.
year and a half ago she was anti AI, and now I think she's
Oh,
opening up to AI foundationally, helping people sort through what is the issue that is most pressing so that when they do come to her, they've done pre-work. They're ready. They've considered different options and deliberated with a chatbot, with Claude or ChatGPT. And so they're
right.
more aware, they're more informed. So I never would have thought she would have come around, but she has. So
Oh, that's amazing to
so
hear.
yeah, so we're going to have very different ways of delivering everything
Mhm.
as the future
Yeah,
progresses.
yeah. Yeah, I know. I do attend to a lot of AI, and I am in the space of gig economy. Like you said, I do pick up projects, a lot of projects actually through AI
Mhm.
space and through the connection that I've met. So I'm a mom. I try to limit myself once a month or twice a month to AI events. I do have
Yeah.
to pick and choose. And literally from the one event that I went last year. And just from that one, I'm still interviewing thought leaders until this day, like just from that one event.
Mhm.
And so I want to ask you, because you do come to a lot of event, how do you leverage and nurturing the relationship to the another level to kind of help you with the career or the entrepreneur path that you're
Mhm.
going into?
Yeah. I want to say that you are being very intentional, and I
Mm,
appreciate that. And I acknowledge it is okay just to go to events to be social. This
mhm,
world has a loneliness crisis. It is
Right.
well documented and well defined. So I don't want to
Mhm.
put pressure on people who just want to be around people. There's
Mhm.
nothing at all wrong with that. And to know that you're
Right.
going into these events is a safe space where everyone is going to meet people, where everyone has, in the Bay Area, most of these events have a technical
Mhm.
focus of some sort. So we have that common thread. So there's always conversations to be had. And
Mhm.
it's okay just to go for the experience of being around people.
Right.
As we have moved away from working in offices as a regular 5-day a week routine, it has
Mhm.
impacted people because they miss that connection to other people.
Yes. Yes.
However,
With-
if you are in a place where you want more than just being with people, then you have to have a plan. You have to know your why. You have to know what you'd like to accomplish at those
Mhm.
events. And you can go as far deep into the rabbit hole as you want to about research ahead of the event. But
Mhm.
it starts with, what do you want to get from the event? Are you going to meet potential clients? Are you going to look for somebody to hire to do front end development? Are you going to look for someone to partner with on funding? Know what you need,
Mhm.
and then the next layer of it is most of the platforms are pretty clear about who's planning to attend, who's registered for the events.
Right.
And do a little, if you're going to spend the night away from your family or away from
Yeah.
your couch or your cat, spend 10 minutes looking at who's going to be there
Yes.
that aligns with what your goal is for going,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
make it a priority to meet those people and to
Mhm.
ask them the good, fun, maybe even
Mhm.
difficult questions, so that you grow from the experience of going to the event and learning
Right.
these people that you're
Mhm.
around. If you just show up, nothing will happen except you will have a drink, you will meet some very nice people, you will
Mhm.
talk about politics or your weekend plans, and that will be lovely. But if
It
you
is.
want
Yeah.
more than that, then you have to be intentional about what do you want to accomplish, so that you're kind of in that mindset as you meet people,
Mhm.
meeting the right people that are in the place where you are. I go to events regularly with several hundred people,
Right.
and they're at all different ranges and stages of the journey. And if I don't have thoughts before I go in about what do I want to get done, then I will
Mhm.
just talk to some really nice people and think
Mhm.
they were really cool because they grew up in Romania. That there will be something interesting about them. But at the end of the day, if we're going to commit a significant amount of our time to doing these things,
Right.
we want it to
Mhm.
be more than just I met nice people. We want it to be
Mhm.
we learned, we grew
Mhm.
more connections. I don't mean numbers, I mean quality.
Mhm.
We gained information about the market. There
Right.
are all kinds of things that we can accomplish
Yeah.
in those
Mhm.
in those spaces.
Yeah, I love that you pointed it out because I'm such an extrovert. And so when I go to event,
It
super
is.
fun,
Mhm.
see people, just energize me. And so I like what you said about like, being intentional as well. So what I did is I just kind of look them up, add them on LinkedIn already. So when I went to the event, I just see them. It's like, hey, talk to them for a little bit. But for me, it's hard to learn at the event for me because I'm going there for it just kind of fill up with my social needs. I need to talk to people. So
Yeah.
sitting and learning, I only pick one or two, but after that, it's like I have to socialize. But what I did is I just kind of add them on LinkedIn, and if I able to speak to them quickly, I just like, hey, I just sent you a LinkedIn connection. Lovely to meet you. It's just like a DM. I like to get into people DM. So like that way it's easier for next time if I like want to connect with them again. And then what I did is I just go home and I wait for the recording to come out. And so I can do the learning at home. Like you said, we become virtual. So it is not the same, like virtual and in person. Like you can have that in person connections. And also it's just the level of energy is totally different. So I utilize it to the max as well.
It doesn't have to be hardcore. It doesn't have to be, I'm going to meet a VC that will fund me, and I'm going to meet a new co-founder. And it doesn't have to be that rigid.
No.
It can be, there's this acute problem that I'm having with this project that I'm working on. And it would be great to find somebody to compare notes with to see if they're having the same challenges. And that's learning. That's active learning in the collaboration, because you know, if you ask the right people and you get connected through these mosh pits of people and skills and experiences, I think it would be hard not to get eventually directed to someone who's having a similar shared experience, so that you can talk about what they might be doing differently to move past the challenge. That is gold, to be able to find someone at an event. And then you have a real connection. Then it's not just a LinkedIn connect. Then, hey, you want to have virtual coffee? Not really. No. But if I know you, if I've had a conversation with you where we talked about our mutual challenge, then you can reach out with some level of, credibility to say, we met, we talked about XYZ. And I would love to get on a call with you for 15 more minutes to peel that back. And people are going to be much more responsive to that than just, I met you, you gave me your business card, I would like 30 minutes of your time. No.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do see that. What I'm just saying is like, maybe it's like not getting what you want, but planting seed.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I still talk to a lot of people that I've met. We met in person, we connect online, and I love to be this resourceful person. If I see anything that aligns to people, I connect them. And if I have come with any problem, I would reach out to them, and most likely they'll say yes to helping me just because I understand their domain, right? What they're doing, how can I help them? And then if there's something that I need, I would just reach out. And so I just see that this amazing resourceful, like just being in the community in the AI space, because to be honest, everybody's building something, everybody's needing help. So if we can create this web of resources to help everybody grow, I just feel like we do have that in the Bay Area, and it's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
I think we live in a bubble. There's no place in the world like the Bay Area. Everyone is growing in a similar direction, which gives everyone instant communication connection for what they're working on. Everyone here is so curious and so inquisitive. And I've seen the most mature and sophisticated executives spend time they don't have with the youngest of founders, because everyone here wants to be part of building something new. I'm sensitive that your audience will also be outside the Bay Area, not just people who are here.
Right.
It may be more difficult to find the number of events in other areas. Start one. And I do, like, I'm from Nashville. I grew up in Nashville. I was there into my early 40s. And Nashville has a ton of AI events happening. So I think every city is developing, but nothing will ever be like the chaos of community opportunity that we have here.
Definitely.
But if you don't find your tribe, then create it.
Create one. Yes.
And you don't have to be like a major event planner to build a community. The tools are out there now. Plan a disc golf frisbee day at the park and invite people from your location, from your geography, to come out and talk about MarTech or whatever your thing is,
Mhm.
and throw Frisbee and have everybody bring a bag of chips. It doesn't have to be
Yes.
complicated. People just need the opportunity to join.
Yeah, definitely. And because I know that especially after the pandemic, we live in a space of like isolation, and we
Yes.
get kind of like too comfortable to be in our couch. So I do challenge anyone, if you're not the one that organizing the event, but other people are organizing, just say yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know you also do podcasts.
It's called Reset. It's available on all the major platforms as Reset with Tonya. And of course, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I have Reset with Tonya as a LinkedIn community, as well as my own LinkedIn, Tonya J. Long. But Reset is about reinvention. It's about the changes that we are all going through, and that I believe personally we're going to see so many more of, because the paradigm of life is changing, starting with the workplace. The workplace is so key to so many active people. Where they work, what they do with their work is a big part of who people are. That's going to really shift for everyone in the next few years. So there are 4 major themes that we focus on for Reset. It's the resets and the transitions and the reinventions that are occurring in work, as in the workplace, with technology, longevity, because we are living to carry many more years, and we're being active for many more years. So longevity. And then the last one is purpose. And purpose is part of almost every conversation, because our fulfillment has everything to do with, why am I here? And how do I want to show up? What do I want to accomplish for myself and for the world? And I think a lot of people, as things get more shaky in the future, because I think it will be bumpy as the workplace changes, but people, I think, are going to get really locked in on what their purpose is. And so those are the 4 tenets for Reset. And we've had some brilliant people that have come to the mic to talk about their resets in life. And it's been a lot more work than I expected, but it has also been a lot more. I've met people I didn't expect to meet.
And I believe it will have a really great impact for wider audience. Definitely. Right? Just part of the revolution, right?
Right.
We're going to change. Oh, that's beautiful. So thank you so much, Tonya, for you to be here today, for taking out your beautiful time, busy time out, and share with us your wisdom and your expertise. I really enjoyed our conversation, and we'll be sure to tune in, Reset. I've watched a few on LinkedIn, so I definitely want to listen to the full episode. So thank you so much, Tonya, for being here.
It has been an honor and an absolute pleasure to spend this time with you. Thank you for bringing.
Oh, thank you. And I'm super excited to see you at one of the events soon.
We will. In the next few days, I have 3. So those are opportunities for you. Let me know.
Yes. I might be one on Thursday night. So, yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you.